Before we start this, I just want to say a huge congratulations to this guy for not only making it in Captain America the Winter Soldier, but now in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Which therefore confirms Marvel and DC crossover confirmed. That's it, people. It's done. Yeah, it's confirmed. Yeah! Okay, so Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. So Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice continues from the events of Man of Steel as it follows the story of billionaire vigilante Bruce Wayne. And after witnessing the events of Metropolis where Superman fought General Zod, he has grown an untamable hatred towards the Man of Steel. Now 2 years have passed since the incident and Superman is being praised as a god, some find him to be a fraud, but Batman is convinced that he isn't all that much of a good guy. Whereas Superman, on the other hand, is still fighting for the safety of the world while dealing with the criticisms of the people he's trying to protect. But after a couple reasons causing these two men to be conflicted with one another, both man and god will enter the greatest gladiator battle in the history of the world, Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham. Now, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is easily considered one of the most highly anticipated comic book movies of all time for obvious reasons, because it's Batman and Superman finally together on the big screen. You have these two icons arguing over who has the biggest dick. Like, how can you say no to that? I mean, I know I was excited for that, but I was one of those people who checked the early reviews, and I know that's a huge no-no for the reviewers on YouTube, but lately it's been getting so much hate on almost every movie website. Like, they're giving it a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, dear God, are you saying that Daredevil is better than Batman v Superman? But I still go into this movie with a huge open mind so I can form my own opinion, and I have to be honest with you guys, because just like Man of Steel, I found Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice brilliant. A huge factor in that for me was the screenplay, because this movie proves to be more than just your average superhero flick. It mainly focuses on two damaged men and the conflicts they have with not just their enemy but within themselves, and how the events in Metropolis really affects them. Batman not knowing what to believe, who's good or bad, where Superman has to prove with everything he has to show that he isn't a threat to the human race. As you have the debates going on where people ask, do we really need a Superman, as he's a figure that should be questioned by the public? And the balance between these two ideals worked extremely well within the film, to when it actually gets into the fight between these two heroes, you already felt it built up and unforced. There was more going on in this movie than just these two heroes fighting, as it provides plenty of depth, character development, and a bit of complexity, and I have to thank the writer Chris Terrio for that. The dialogue that is said between almost all the characters is really interesting too, which I'll get back to that in a bit when I get to a few characters. In here, you got Henry Cavill reprising his role as Superman, and for the second time, he proves that he is perfect for that Superman role. I've basically said everything I had to say about him in my Man of Steel review, in which you can check that out once you're done with this review. Amy Adams as Lois Lane was pretty good. I was surprised on how big of a role she had in this movie, and I had zero complaints about that. But then we have our new Batman slash Bruce Wayne played by Ben Affleck, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. He is seriously the best Batman we have ever received on the big screen. You can tell that he put every bit of talent in the role of the Dark Knight, as we see a new level of edginess and darkness within a very damaged man that will be extremely hard to top for any new generations of Batman to come. He made Batman his own. He was a fantastic Bruce Wayne, and he was a phenomenal Batman. As you see in the trailers on how he fought, it was crazy. I don't think anybody can top him. Now, all the naysayers of Ben Affleck as Batman can now be laid to rest. He can easily put Christian Bale's Batman and everybody else's to shame. And we have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Without giving any spoilers away, all I'll say is I loved her in the movie and I can't wait for her solo film. She was great. And then we have Lex Luthor played by Jesse Eisenberg, and I still feel like I'm still on the fence about his character because I don't really have a final thought about him in the movie. Reason why is because out of any character in the entire movie, he had the best and most sophisticated lines, since they embody and why I love Lex Luthor as a villain, because he's just spewing out philosophical reasons on the nature of humanity, and probably writing them down on paper was probably like, oh yeah, this is why Lex Luthor is awesome. But Jesse Eisenberg's delivery on the lines, being this eccentric and quirky character, kind of takes away the menacing side of him. I don't know, maybe you felt that way too? But I probably have to watch this movie again so I can get a confirmation on how I feel about his character once and for all. However, the other aspects in the film, like the cinematography, is absolutely gorgeous. I thought it was beautiful in Man of Steel, and it's even more beautiful in Batman v Superman. Just capturing this rich and dark world makes me more confident in these DC movies, as they make sure each shot is a lot different and expressive than the other. It was fantastic. And of course, you gotta talk about the action in the film, and it was not just entertaining, but there was a point to it, in which I'm talking about the Batman-Superman fight, and then you see the other fight in the second trailer, which was less meaningful than the previous, but you can't deny that it's really entertaining. Plus, it gave us a little bit of a tease on how the Justice League will be and how they'll function, and it was just an amazing thing to watch on the big screen. But despite all the CGI action that happens in the movie, I thought this was more than just a superhero flick, because I say if you want to see Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, it is definitely worth seeing at the full admission. Thank God it was really good, so now I don't have to worry. Alright guys, I want to know what your thoughts are about Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and did you agree with those bad reviews that you saw online? Whatever your thoughts are, leave it down below. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that social media shit down below. Keep in contact with me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and as always, may the Force be with you.